Hey YouTube, this is Pug Weasel, otherwise known as Brad Hollowell, and I'm doing another prepper critique, except today's critique is not actually a critique, it's actually a defense. Recently I had someone comment on one of my prepper critique videos, and it just seemed like they were being very insulting to preppers. My comment was just that I don't know what's going to happen, I'm just giving my 2 cents, and it got me to thinking, and I decided, well, what is it that's so bad about being a prepper? And I came to the conclusion that there's not really anything wrong with prepping. Whether you believe that it's, obviously it's nothing wrong with it if you believe that it's a good thing to do, but even if you don't, even if you think the prepping thing is a waste of time, it still isn't doing anybody any harm, including the people who do prepping. So I decided to do a video explaining why that's the case. So let me get right into it. First, most of the things that preppers do are decent investments, right? So you've got, for instance, collecting food. You're collecting things, and you're collecting food, you're collecting guns, and you're collecting camping gear. You may have a few other gadgets that might be helpful for you in the future, and you can add that to the list, but the main 3 things seem to be food, guns, camping gear. Food including seeds and things of that nature. So let's talk about it. Let's break it down one by one. Food. Most of the food that preppers are collecting are either 1, non-perishables, or 2, long shelf life perishables. So basically, I say to myself, well, if I'm a prepper, I'm collecting all this food because I think I need it. Let's say you wake up 10 years from now and you decide that prepping just isn't the thing. You don't need to prep. Well, you rotate that non-perishable and that long shelf life perishable stuff into your normal grocery buying, and you save money every week at the grocery store, at least until it's used up, which means it wasn't a bad investment to buy it in the first place. Seeds, obviously, if you're growing a garden, you grow a garden and you supplement your grocery bill as well. And so I know most of you are out there, you're saving non-perishables, you're rotating food on shelves so that you're using up stuff that's long shelf life perishables as it gets close to expiration dates. And so if you decide you didn't want to be a prepper, you're not actually out anything. And then if you look at the way commodities work, you can essentially, look at yourself as actually making a little bit of a profit, because if I buy a can of tuna today, and I don't know what they cost, if it costs, $1.20, it's conceivable that in 10 years, that can of tuna could cost $2, and you have that can of tuna sitting on the shelf, you've saved yourself 80 cents. So, depending on how much food you have and how much you save, you may be saving yourself a great deal of money by prepping. Let's move on to guns. Starting off with ammunition. Now, you're going to lose some money on your ammunition if you decide to sell it. If you've gotten yourself thousands and thousands of rounds of ammunition in whatever caliber, you're going to lose some money on that if you decide to sell it. You could conceivably, my father says that I'm inheriting his old guns and the ammunition that goes with it. Ammunition, by the way, for those of you who don't know about guns, practically lasts forever. If you keep it stored in a cool, dry place, there's, the things that are in there are minerals and things of that nature. So they don't just turn into something else as long as you keep them cool and dry. It takes a long time for those things to occur. So they're going to last forever, and you can keep them and they'll still work and go through them at target practice or whatever, or you can sell them for some amount of money and recoup a whole bunch of your money by selling it online at prices that are close to new, if undersell the new prices, and make plenty of money for yourself. So you go to guns. Now, guns are one of the great things about guns is that they are not built to atrophy. So many things in our society are built to atrophy. They're going to last so many years, and then they're going to stop working. Cars are built to last about 7 years, and then they're going to start breaking down and start costing you more money than they're worth. So guns, though, because of the safety issue, if you build something to atrophy that has such high pressures in it, it's likely to end up blowing up on somebody, harming somebody. And gun makers obviously can't afford to have that happening all the time, and so they build them to last forever. So, along with the invention of the internet, the truth is that you can sell a gun online and get 2/3 of what you paid for it, especially if you're buying pretty high quality guns. If you buy a high quality gun used, you can essentially, because you can sell it yourself online, get a return of the exact same amount of money, if not sometimes more money, when you go sell it yourself. So you didn't pay the new price, you sold it at the same price you bought it for, and you are no worse for wear. So that's the second thing about what preppers do that financially just isn't that harmful. Okay. Thirdly, you're collecting camping gear, right? And you're not really collecting it in the context of being a collector. I collect antique typewriters. I have 5 typewriters. They're all typewriters. Camping gear, you don't buy any more than you need. You may upgrade it to better stuff as you learn more things about camping, and you may add to your collection in the context of having more gadgets that are going to make you more comfortable. But you're no different than anybody who likes to go camping as a hobby or as an outdoor sport, or with the family, so on and so forth. You're not buying anything more than they would be buying, really. So those are the 3 main things that I think preppers do, and it just isn't a waste of money, and it's not a waste of time if in fact when the end of the world comes you get to use it, or if the end of the world never comes, you still get to use it. And if you decide that you don't want to keep as many guns, you can sell them. And I think that is why being a prepper just isn't that stupid of an idea. It's a decent idea, because whether you're right or whether you're wrong, you're going to get to use the stuff that you bought because of the nature of what it is. So when I critique preppers, it's usually, hey, have you thought about this in this way? You're living on this myth, for instance, that myth that poor people will just they're going to be the first to die, they're going to lay down and die, they're going to come expect me to give my stuff to them when they didn't do anything, type of stuff. I've done a video on that, and that's one of the myths, so I've tried to talk about that. I haven't done a video, and I don't expect to do a video that says, hey, stop prepping, because quite frankly you're not doing anyone or yourself any harm. So basically the last thing I want to say is there's never a reason to flame on somebody and be disrespectful and just call them crazy or stupid or whatever. And so I hope I don't have to deal with that a lot, although I think I may have to, and I need to get used to it. On the other hand, I'm not going to be criticizing, in my critiques at least, the idea that people shouldn't collect food or collect guns or collect camping gear, since with good resale values or the ability to use those things in your own life, whether you're prepping or not, seems to make it a good idea. So, I'm Brad Hollowell, otherwise known as Pug Weasel. Have a good day.